Hi guys, I'm Trina and this is Tuesday Talks. Tuesday Talks is a Goodreads group that was created by Janie and Janelle, and there's a link in the doobly-doo as always for you to check that out. This week's topic is how do you deal with hard to pronounce names and words when reading? And I am actually the weird person that suggested this topic in the group boards because when I started YouTube or BookTube, I realized that I do stumble over names. That was weird. I do stumble over names, specifically author names. I think a lot of booktubers have the same problem because I cannot tell you how many videos I have seen where someone will go, I'm currently reading this book by, I'm not even going to try to say this name. I'm going to mess this name up, so I'm not even going to try it. Which I kind of think that we shouldn't be doing that because a name is a very personal thing to a person's identity. My name isn't hard to pronounce at all, but people like to add letters and that's kind of annoying. And this author took the time to write this incredible book that we are enjoying, so I think it's pretty easy to take the time to look up how to pronounce the names, and I'm not trying to call anybody out on that. I completely understand. I have trouble with it too. I've done that myself. I mentioned that just to say like kind of why I kind of suggested this topic and wanted to talk about it. With author names, what I do to help me is I actually do a YouTube search just for that author's name, and 9 times out of 10 there is a clip somewhere of an author interview where that person introduces themselves and says their own name. Even then sometimes I still mess up, but that's just what I do to kind of deal with not knowing how to say a name. As far as character names go, I'm very much that person who just has the habit of however I perceived that name the first time I encountered it, that's how it is in my head from here till the end of time. It's very, very hard for me to break that initial impression of how I was pronouncing that name in my head as I was reading. A really great example of this would be Kale from the Throne of Glass series. His name is spelled with a CH, and in my brain that is a ch sound. So that entire book I read his name as Joel. I thought it was like a variation of the name Joel, like J-O-E-L, like Joel. That's what I thought it was, and I don't care that there was a pronunciation guide in the back of that book that told me that's not how you say his name. The CH is like how you pronounce chaos, so it's Kale. I will correct myself and say it as Kale now when I'm having a conversation about it or talking about him as a character or the books, but when I'm reading the books, every time I see his name on the page, my brain just reverts to Joel. I cannot help it. I really do try hard to correct myself when speaking about it, especially in videos on YouTube where there are a bunch of people out there and I may be their first time hearing about the book or the character or the author or whatever, and I want to try to present it accurately. But if I'm just talking with a friend, you know, I don't do all this research and whatever. As far as other weird words in books, especially like fantasy books where you have different lands that are totally fictional, if I don't know how to pronounce those, I usually just don't. I won't bring those up in conversation. I'll just try to find a way around it so I don't have to mention that thing. A lot of times if I encounter a word that comes up over and over again and I don't know what it is or how to say it, I do look it up. And even if it's a made-up word in like a fantasy book, I still like to look it up and see maybe what the sources of that word are in like our language, like a real contemporary world language. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't have a lot else to say about this topic. I just thought it would be kind of fun to talk about because I did notice once I started making videos that I stumble over more words than I thought I would, but it doesn't seem to be just me. So I would really be interested in learning how you guys handle difficult to pronounce names and words in books or author names that you may not be familiar with. Thank you so much for letting me discuss this topic with you this week, and I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments. Bye!